There we go. So thank you everyone for being here, all right on time. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Godot game engine and Python and why the two can really get along nicely. My name is Emmanuel, by the way. I'm French, maybe you heard my accent. So, what is Godot? I guess most of you know about Godot. Maybe people who don't know. Okay, so I can skip this slide. Yeah, really fast. Godot is an incredible game engine, fully open source, which ships to plenty of platforms, mobile, web, etc. There is a 2D, 3D graphic, physical engine. You can export, you can do plenty of things. Basically, it's the best game engine ever, except one or two, like Unity and Unreal and all the others. But whatever. So, what can we do with Godot? Sorry. There is. So, if you're not familiar with Godot, you can see the game engine is built around scenes. So here we have the 2D platformer demo for Godot. I wanted originally to show the 3D one, but basically this computer is a potato, so it won't run. So you can see there is here in small what we call the graph scene. So basically our scene is made of plenty of nodes. For instance, the player is a node, the enemy are node, the platformer node, everything is node. So you can from here edit all your thing. You can look from here. Yeah, the resolution is really small, so you can see anything. But just trust me, you can edit plenty of things from your game engine. And then when you're ready, you can just press one key, and then you can start playing. You can start tweaking, you can send this thing on your mobile phone to debug remotely, etc. So there's plenty of things you can do. One really cool feature about Godot is the node I was talking to you about. Sorry, I can't find my cursor. Here it is. The nodes, they are themselves scenes. So you have scenes nested inside scenes. So it's really cool because it means you can just, if I click here it is, you have the scene of my enemy, for instance, which is here, nice little guy. Okay, so you cannot see, but it has its own scene tree, and so you have plenty of components. Like, for example, this guy has animation. It has a sound emitter in order to do a specialized sound. You have a physical hitbox, etc. So you have all those things really put nicely together inside Godot, and each of those nodes, you can plug them scripts. So try to click, it's getting harder. Okay, so you still can see a thing, and I cannot zoom, so sorry, you have to trust me. Basically, these things, it kind of look from where you are, it kind of looks like Python. It's not Python, it's a language called, a script language called Gdscript. It is loosely based on Python, and from now on you maybe wonder, yeah, why this language? Why didn't they just took one existing language like Python or Lua and just ship with the game engine? It would have been much better. Well, according to the bug tracker of Godot, there's plenty of people who think it would have been the best idea ever, and yeah, spoiler alert, it's not the case. So yeah, okay, so the game engine is great, but we're here for Python, right? So, but before Python, just we should just have a look at why Gdscript is in fact a great idea. And so to do that, we have to just have a look at how works the nodes I was talking to you about. So Godot is the C++ game engine. So every node is implemented just like a regular C++ class, but you have a bit of additional stuff, which are those things, And so basically what you are doing by doing these things is you are adding a runtime introspection to your class. So what does it mean is you can use your class like this. So this is the C++ traditional boring way, just like you use your new keyword, you create an instance of your class, and then you just use it. And you can use the fancy dynamic way. So it looks like much more complicated. It is much slower, but it's cool. Because right now you can see there is plenty of variant thing. And there is this class DB structure. Class DB is the component which register every one of your script, sorry, not your script, your node, and all its method, all its property, etc. So at runtime, you can ask, hey, class DB, give me give me a new instance of this this node, give me the method for this node, and then you can call things. And you can see you use variant everywhere. So when you call a function, you give parameter as variant, you get back a variant, and etc. It looks like a lot like Python. In Python, when you create a function, there is no typing, it's dynamic typing, so you can give the function an int, and tomorrow you will give it a string, and it will work. Or maybe it will blow up, but blowing up in Python means you get a nice error. Blowing up in C++ means anything. People might get killed. So that's why variant is much better, because it means that you can take this thing and basically you can write it like this, and this is Gdscript. And so now this is very the same, but it means now you can have end user which write easy Gdscript, and this code it won't crash. If there is a problem, you will see a nice error and etc. So put it another way, we can see Godot in two parts. There is the big main part, which is the core, which contains this variant structure, which is a combination of all the built-in type, all the Godot nodes that could be, and etc. And you have this this nice class DB system, which allows you to at runtime query your node method and property. And on the other side, you have this really small module. In the code base, it's something really small, and it's not even in the core of the engine. And it's basically two things. One is the compiler, and another is the interpreter. So basically, you just compile your user-readable Gdscript into bytecode, and then you just interpret one bytecode at a time, and basically you're doing this one bytecode at a time. So that's why Gdscript is a great idea, because it is really tightly integrated into Godot. And so yeah, it basically saying we should have removed Gdscript and use Lua instead, it means we have to fight against all these things. But basically that's what I'm doing in Python. So it's painful, but I really love Python because it has a huge ecosystem. And for instance, if you're like me and every time you play a game, you say, oh, the AI of this game is really poor. Maybe one day some guy will use this binding to use machine learning to create a really great AI. I hope so. And so that's basically one use case you can use by bringing Python to Godot. Basically, you give a really huge ecosystem, a nice language, and plenty of possibilities. Now, how to do that? This is a basic, like every Godot game looks like this. So on the left side, you have your Godot binary. So it's basically what you will download from the Godot website. And on the right side, you have all your assets. So your sprite, so your script, etc. And what we are going to do is this. So basically, we just drop the Gdscript, you replace it by Python. And then you have this shared library, which will contain the Python interpreter. So it can interpret your Python script. And now it has to talk to the main Godot binary. So to do that, there is this C API, which is called Gnative, which allows you to access basically everything from Godot. How this Gnative works, basically just like what I show you with the variant stuff. it looks pretty much the same, except, well, you're from outside of Godot. You're just like in shared library, and you can do that. And it's much faster than the variant stuff for reasons we don't have to talk about. And so it's much more dangerous. Anyway, so what we have to do to give to Godot the Python language is there is a function inside the Gdnative which allows you to register a new script language inside the game engine. So once you've done that, Godot will know that every time he has to load a .py file, he has to call your library, and so you can do the work. And on top of that, there is another thing you have to do is provide to your Python world all the Gdnative function, because now you want to access all your nodes, modify your node, etc. Now, for how to do that, first we use Cython. In truth, I've used basically every possible tool you can use to plug Python and C together. So if you have questions about this after that, you can talk to me. I guess I can say a lot about that. But anyway, the best is Cython. Just kidding. There is also CFFI, which is really great. But for our use case, Cython is really cool. If you don't know, Cython basically is a tool that allows you to compile Python into a shared library, which will be seen from Python just like a regular module. So this gives you like a 50% boost. But the really, really great thing is you can, inside Cython, mix together C and Python in a really elegant way. So in the end, it means you can go as fast as C, and you can integrate really, really nicely with external third-party C library, just like what we need for Godot. So it just worked great. The little complicated thing is basically we have plenty of templates everywhere to generate this code. So for instance, we have our Godot binary. So once again, we use ClassDB to generate a JSON, which will show us all the class, all the method, all the property, etc. And so then we can generate this file, which is basically a Cython version, which allows you to access every class, method, etc. So it's pretty big, 6.3 megabytes. But after that, you have to compile this. And Cython, the Cython compiler starts by compiling your Cython code into C. And so now it's 87 megabytes. And on top of that, you're 60 seconds older. But it's only the beginning. And so compiling is 200 seconds, and it's also 6 gigabytes of RAM on GCC. So this computer cannot do that. So Travis cannot do that also. So you have to use Clang, which eats less RAM. But GCC is great, also great. Anyway, so that's what you end up with. And there is other template I won't talk to you about, but you have templates everywhere. And you end up with a nice thing that can use Python. You can use Python from Godot. From this, basically, I've been doing this for like since 2016. We are still in beta. This is a bit sad for me because I gave a talk about this like in 2017 for EuroPython, and the first bullet point was exactly the same. So yeah, shame. But no, because this is not the same beta. It's much better beta. Like before it was leaking RAM, now it's no longer. The performance is better. I'm pretty confident we can release something nice in a short time. So I'll promise we will have a stable version before Star Citizen, for instance. I hope. And after that, if someone here knows about macOS, I'm not a macOS developer, and there is trouble with the build right now. So anyway, I ask. And yeah, one really important point I think is the possibility, given all my system is written in Cython, it means we can provide all the Godot API in Cython too, and we can make a user use Cython. So what does it mean is like, first you just write your game in Python, like really fast, you can debug your stuff, etc. And then when you need performance, you can slowly write the hot path in Cython to get performance. So it's like the best of all the world. So I'm really excited about it. And on top of that, maybe you've seen that the Godot 3.2 has been released. So now there is 4.0, and there is plenty of compatibility breakage which are ongoing. For instance, I was working on this tonight, and that's why I'm late. So there is plenty of nice stuff coming along, performance boost and so on. So yeah, I'm excited. And yeah, you don't have to forget that it's a game engine, so I should be writing games, but yeah, damn it. And yeah, that's it. So, question anyone? No? Okay, so maybe they already told you, but I will tell you again. Like Monday and Tuesday, there is a GodotCon. And so if you're interested into Godot, you should really go and come and have fun with us. It's nice. People are nice. And I'll be there. Yeah, that's it.
Maybe I would like to ask something.
Oh, yeah!
This is kind of a meta question, not necessarily for me, but what kind of help do you need? As you said that it's meta and help you. So can you say some examples where how people can help?
Yeah, so the question is, what kind of help do I need? First I need friend. Because, yeah, it's kind of funny, but it's like when you're working alone on this kind of project and it's plenty of complexity, so there is a lot of people who come, who look at the code, and they say, oh, it's nice, I give a star, but they don't know what to do, what to work, so basically they just disappear. And when you're developing this kind of thing, you just feel lonely, and you have to work for months and months, and you're like, oh, why am I doing this anymore? So just people coming and just adding an issue and saying, oh, I found something, it's nice. So this is the first thing. And for instance, if you want to make me happy, you should go to GodotCon. On top of that, I think there is, so as I said, all the platform things, because there is a Linux, there is Windows, there is macOS. If you look into the code base, there is plenty of sarcastic comments about Windows and how complicated it is for basically nothing. So if you want to make me feel happy, just don't let me write sarcastic comment about how macOS is complicated and so on. On top of that, there is, for instance, packaging. Packaging is like 90% of the work once you have done 90% of the other work. So this is another stuff which is not that complicated, but plenty of small things which add up. On top of that, I think the code base right now it's about stable, which was not the case like 2 months ago. So people can come, just have a look, asking questions, and yeah, we might figure out what we can do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question.